Hello friends, welcome to the course on machine learning. In the previous session, we have seen about simple linear regression. So, in this session, we are going to start with a new concept, that is multiple linear regression. First, we will try to get the understanding understanding of the intuition behind the multiple linear regression, and then we will try to implement it in our code. So let's get started. Now, first, what is multiple linear regression? Now, you may know that in simple linear regression, there is only available one independent variable available, and dependent variable depends on it. Now, in multiple linear regression, there are multiple independent variables available to us, and we are going to make a model that's going to predict the value of dependent variable on the basis of independent variables. Now, they can be more than one, like 2, 3, 4, 5, or can anything. Now, you may have seen this simple equation of simple linear regression. Today we are going to talk about multiple linear regression, and it's the equation of it. As you can see, it's the independent variable y, which is equals to the constant b0 and the coefficient b1, b2 to bn, corresponding to the independent variable x1, x2 up to xn. Now, the working is all similar, it's just that there are multiple independent variables available. Now, b0 is the same constants, that means the intercept of line over the y-axis, and b1, b2 and bn are coefficients related to the corresponding independent variables. Now, so this is all the basic intuition behind our multiple linear regression. So let's try to implement this in our code. So we are going to start by importing our libraries first. Now, as you can see, we imported numpy as np, matplotlib.pyplot as plt, and pandas as pd. Now, after that, we are going to import our dataset. As you can see in this line of code, we created a data frame named dataset using a function of pandas.readcsv, by which we are reading a CSV file which is going to be our dataset, that is 50 underscore startups.csv. Now, this is the dataset that we are going to use. Now we are going to create a multiple linear regression model from this dataset that is going to predict the profit of the startup on the basis of its R&D spend, its administration, marketing spend, and the state where it's located. Now, so as you can see, the profit will be our dependent variable y, and all the other four columns, that is state and the spends, R&D spend, and like, they are going to be our independent variables. Now let's first import a dataset into the code. After that, we are going to create our independent variable x, that is equals to dataset.iloc method, where we use colon first, which is going to return all the rows of our dataset. So here colon -1 is going to return all the columns except the last one. And similarly, we are going to create our dependent variable y from our dataset using .iloc method. So we are in dataset.iloc, and in square bracket we used column comma for all the rows from starting to end, and 4, that means the column at the 4th index. So after executing these two lines of code, we can see that we got two variables x and y, where x is our dependent variables, which is R&D spend, marketing spend, state, and etc., and y is our dependent variable, that is the profit of by the startup. Now first, as you can see here, in our independent variable x, there is also a categorical data, that is state, which is New York, California, Florida, and these values are repeated. Now we can't just fit our model on the basis of the values of state. We need to convert it into its numeric representation. So first we are going to use label encoder on these values, and then we are going to use one hot encoder. Now what is label encoder and what is one hot encoder? So first let's try to understand this. So label encoder is going to convert the categorical values into its numeric representation. What it's going to do is first assign a numeric value to each categorical values, such as here, as you can see, there are three categorical values: caliber, ovary, uvo. Now it's going to assign a numeric value to all of these, such as 0, 1, 2, and then it's going to replace the value in the data set by its numeric representation, such as here it's caliber, so it's going to replace it with 0, and here it's UO and the value UO it's assigned is 2, so it's going to replace it with 2, and similarly with ovary it's going to replace it with 1. Now we still can't use these values to fit it into our model. Now why is that? Because our model totally works on the numeric values and it's going to work on the basis of numeric relation. So our model can possibly think of it as that the value 0 is comparatively lower compared to the value 2, which is comparatively higher value compared to the value 1. So we don't want such a comparison between these values because they are not related, comparatively related to each other. So that's why we are going to apply one hot encoding on it. Now what's one hot encoder do? Now suppose let's say this is our data set and there are few categories such as categorical values such as Volkswagen, Acura, Honda and like that, and their level encoding values will be like for Volkswagen 0, Acura 1 and Honda 2. So one hot encoding is going to create few new columns which will be equals to the classes available for our categories, such as there are three classes such as Volkswagen, Acura and Honda. So it's going to create three new columns such as Volkswagen, Acura and Honda, like that, and then it's going to assign one for those values where there is Volkswagen and 0 for the remaining one. So let's see, here it's a Volkswagen, so it's going to assign 1 here and 0 for all the values. Here for in the Acura column, it's going to assign value 1 for the Acura and for the remaining value it's going to assign 0. Similarly for Honda, it's going to assign 1 here and 0 here. So we need to implement this into our code to use the column state for our model prediction. So let's see it in our code. So first it's going to apply label. First we are going to apply label encoder on this. So it's going to assign numeric values to these states such as New York, California, Florida, and then it's going to convert them into one hot encoder. And so let's try to implement this into our code. So first for label, there are already available classes of label encoder and one hot encoder in our sklearn.preprocessing package. So we are going to import them first. Now after importing, so we are going to create an object of label encoder class. So as you can see here, we created an object named label encoder underscore x of a label encoder class. We need to apply label encoder on the third column, which is of state. So we are going to use label encoder object and are going to use its function fit underscore transform. Now fit underscore transform is going to first fit those values into a label encoder object and then going to transform them into its label encoding, such as 0, 1, 2 and like that. So we need to apply it on the third column, so we are going to pass only the third column. So we use independent variable x, and then in the square bracket we assigned column for all the rows and comma 3 for only the column at the third index, and then we are going to store this at the third index column. So we are going to use x square bracket column for all the rows comma third column, means the column at index 3. Now after executing these two lines of code, it's going to encode them in its numeric representation. So let's see. As you can see, all the state values are encoded into its numeric representation. As you can see, it was California and New York and Florida here, and now it's 2, 0, 1. It may have assigned values 0, 1, 2 to the values such as Florida, New York, California and like that. Now after that, we are going to convert this numeric representation, I mean these label encoded values, into one hot encoder values. So first for that we are going to create an object of one hot encoder, which is one hot encoder equal to one hot encoder square bracket. This is our object. So after creating the object one hot encoder, we are going to use the object and you're going to use its function fit underscore transform. Now using the fit underscore transform over only the third column, because we only required to apply one hot encoding over the third column specially. So we are going to use x independent variable x and in the square brackets we are going to pass colon for all the rows and square bracket 3 for the third column only. And then we are going to use dot to array to convert the output of the one hot encoding into an array format. And let's assign it into a new variable. Let's say it's a. Now after that there is a problem occur sometimes, which is a dummy variable trap. So in order to understand that, let's try to see it into a image. This is the code related to our example. As you may have seen here, these are profit, R&D spend, admin, marketing, and this is the state. Now the equation related to this will be like B0, B1 into X1 for R&D spend, B2 and X2 will be admin, plus B3 into X3 will be marketing. Now for the state, we applied label encoder and then we applied one hot encoding in this variable. And as you can see, it converted this column state into New York and California and assigned the value 1 to the New York column and other as 0, and assigned 1 for California and California column and other as 0. Now after that, let's see these two columns. First, as you can see here, New York column is equals to 1 minus California. Now if we use both the variables, both these dummy variables into our program or into our model, so it's going to just duplicate the variable, as like both the variables are same. As you can see, if we only use this variable for our model, so it's going to say that 1 for New York and 0 for California. And similarly, if we use this, so it's going to state 0 for New York and 1 for California. We can use that. So using both the variables together is going to duplicate the variables into our model, which will increase complexity and reduce the accuracy. So this problem is referred as dummy variable trap. So it's not just for the binary, it's also that if there are multiple classes for one hot after one hot encoding, then we are going to use one less than the total number of classes. So if there are 3 classes, then we are going to use 2. If there are 5, then we are going to use 4. Similarly, we are going to use this concept in our code. Now as in our code, we have a categorical variable that is state, and there are 3 classes, which is New York, California and Florida. So we are going to avoid the dummy variable trap, we are going to drop one of the column of one hot encoder. So let's first execute this line of code to have a better understanding. As you can see, it created a new variable a. There are 3 classes 0, 1 and 2, and they are for New York, Florida and California. So to avoid dummy variable trap, we are going to drop one of the columns from it. So we are going to use this line of code. What this line of code is going to do is just assign an array to itself, passing the same array, and then in the square bracket we are going to use colon for that refers all the rows from start to end, and then one column which is going to return all the columns from first index to the end. So it's going to drop the column at index 0. So let's execute this line of code. So as you can see here, now we have only 2 columns. It dropped the first column that was before this, and then now it's only have 2 columns. So in this way we are going to avoid the dummy variable trap from in our model. Now we are going to use this 2 column and going to concate it into our independent variable x. So first we need to remove the state column from our variable independent variable x. So we are going to use the similar process. We are going to use x assigning the value to the itself, and then we are going to use x in square bracket. We are going to use colon for all the rows, and then colon 3 for all the columns x before the third column. So it's going to return the column at index 0, 1 and 2, but not the third one. So after executing this line of code, it removes the label encoding of state column. Now after that we are going to concate both the values at column wise, so at axis 1. So we are going to use numpy for concatenation. As you can see, we are going to assign the value at independent variable x, and then we are going to use np.concatenate, and then here in this parenthesis we are going to first pass both the variables, I mean both the arrays, that is capital X and a of the one hot encoding values, and comma assign x is equals to 1 so that it performs column wise. So let's execute this line of code. So as you can see here, now we have all the three values, which is R&D spend, marketing, and administration, and then both only two columns for of one hot encoding format and not three to avoid the dummy variable trap. Now we are going to split them into our training data and testing data. So we are going to use the similar process as before. From sklearn.model selection, we are going to import function train test split. So it's going to return four values as before. It's going to return independent variable of training data, independent values of testing data, dependent variables of training data, and dependent variable of testing data. And then we are going to use train test split, and here we pass both the independent variable and dependent variable, and then we pass test size, which is our 0.2, means 20% will be of for test site and 80% will be for training. And then we assign random state equals to 0. Similarly, so no random shuffle or random values of rows are going to be picked up from our independent variable and train dependent variable. So after executing this line of code, we will be going to have four arrays for training data and testing data of their dependent and independent variables. So these are the xtrain and xtest, ytrain and ytest. Now first we are going to create our linear regression, multiple linear regression model, and then going to fit our training data into it, and then we are going to make prediction for the testing data. So it's same as before. We are going to import linear regression class from our linear model package of sklearn. So let's import it first. After that we are going to create an object. Let's call it regressor and of linear regression class. As you can see, it's going to create an object regressor, which is a linear regression model. Now we are going to fit our model on training data, so we are going to use fit function, so regressor dot fit, and then we are going to pass xtrain and ytrain, and that are the independent and dependent variables of our training data. So after executing this line of code, now our model, linear regression model is fitted, so we are going to use it for make prediction. So let's say we use regressor dot predict function, and we are going to make prediction on x test, that is independent variable of testing data, and then we are going to store the value at y underscore pred. So after executing this line of code, we can see this is our array that's of our prediction, and y underscore test is the actual value. Now let's compare both the values. So as you can see here, our model make a prediction of around like 1,03,015, and actual value is around like 1,03,282. It's a quite great prediction. Now similarly, as you can see, its second value is around prediction is around like 1,32,000, and actual value is around like 1,44,000. Now sometimes it also make low predictions, I mean less accurate predictions, such as here it make a prediction of like 1,78,000, but actual value is around like 1,91,000. So it makes quite less progress. I mean, so it makes great predictions sometimes, but sometimes also less predictions, I mean less accurate predictions. So that's it for our prediction. Now our model is going to make quite great prediction or quite accurate prediction sometimes, but sometimes it's also going to make less accurate predictions, or they're going to be very low and very high difference between the actual value and the predicted value. Why is that? Now in order to understand that, we need to understand that if there is a data set with multiple independent variables, so it's not always true that all the independent variables have relation with the our dependent variable. It also be possible that there may be few very independent variables that doesn't have any relation with our dependent variable. So we need to remove those independent variables. That's going to increase our model's accuracy, because these variables may affect our model, and that may lead to the less accurate predictions. So in order to understand the concept, we are going to use this in our code. We are going to use states model API for that. Now this API is used to gain statistic information and understanding about our model and our variables, and then we are going to check whether there is a relation between this independent variable with our dependent variable or not, and how much strong it is related. If it's related, then we are going to use that variable in our model, and if they are not related, then we are not going to use that model. So let's start it in our code. Now we are going to import states model.formula.api first as an alias sm, and then we are going to create a new array, independent array of independent variable, because we know that there is a constant variable also in our multiple linear regression, that is b0, and that's not available in our training data or available in our independent variable. So we are going to create a column of a constant that is going to be value 1. So we are going to create a column of 1 and then going to append it into our independent variable x. So we are going to use independent variable x equals to, and going to use append form function of numpy np.append, and then we are going to pass array first array as np.ones, which is going to be a size of same as the size of x, that is around like 50 rows. And then we are going to use dot as type is equals to int. So we are going to convert the numpy array of ones into with all the values as integer, and then we are going to pass the value is equals to x, and that is our second array, that is our independent variable. And then we are appending the both the arrays together on axis 1, that is column wise. So after executing this line of code, you can see that in our independent variable x there is now a column of ones of around 50 rows, that is from index 0 to 49. Now after that we are going to use a states model API and to get summary of our model. In order to do that, we are going to import a states model API first, like this. So in backward elimination, first we are going to access all the independent variables first, including constant, and then we are going to remove all the independent variable one by one which are not having any relation with our dependent variable or having very less relation with our dependent variable. And we are keep doing this one by one by removing one column or one independent variable at a time from our x, until we get an collection of independent variables, I mean independent variable array x, which having those variables which have quite great relation with our dependent variable y. Similarly, in forward selection, we are going to start with one independent variable, and we are going to keep comparing its more accuracy, or we are going to keep comparing its relation with our dependent variable. If it is related to, if it's quite related with our dependent variable, then we are going to let it stay in our independent variable, and then we are going to add another independent variable, and then we are going to compare the relation of second variable with our independent variable and check whether they are high related or not. And similarly we are keep going to do that until we get a collection of independent variables which are having quite great relation with dependent variable, and that's how we are going to get all the independent variables which are required for our model. And when we are going to use those independent variables for our model construction, then that model is going to give us quite great accurate predictions. So let's try to see both the methods, backward elimination and forward selection, in our code. Now in backward elimination, we are going to create a collection of all the independent variables first. So we created a new variable x optional, that is an independent variable, collection of independent variable, and then we are going to use np.array, and then going to pass first x with column, that means all the rows of independent variable x, and then after that we are going to pass a list of all the columns or all the independent variables that we are going to use. So it's in x there are around like 6 columns, that is from 0 to 5. These are the independent variables, so we are going to use them. So it's 0 1 2 3 4 5, so we are going to use 0 1 2 3 4 5, and then we are going to assign d type is equals to 4. It is required because as you can see our array is of type object and we can't access the array of type object here. We need to convert it into a float, so we are going to use dtype equals to float. So after executing this line of code, as you can see, we get x optional with all the columns of our x and all the rows of x, and with a data type of float, array of float 64, as you can see here. Now after that we are going to use a states model API and its function.ols. So as you can see, first we created an object of ols regressor underscore ols, and then we passed sm1.ols, and in it we used two required arguments, that is endog and exog. Endog is our for dependent variable and exog is for independent variable. So in endog we passed y, and in exog we passed x optional, that is our new independent variable collection. And then we use dot fit function to fit into our regressor underscore ols states model API. Now after executing this line of code, you can see that we got an object regressor underscore ols of states model API object, and then we use fit mod function to fit it into our model. After that we use regressor underscore ols dot fit summary function to get the summary of our model. Now as you can see here, there are around like 6 columns, 1 2 3 4 5 6. The first one is the constant, that is all ones, and all the other are the our variables, our independent variables, which as you can see here, it is one R&D spend, administration, marketing, and these two are state in one hot encoding format. Now and for backward elimination we need to set a threshold value for a relation, and that let's say that we have set a threshold value of around like 0.5, 0.5. So we need to compare this value pre greater than modulo of t, and we are going to compare all the values with 0.5 and find out the biggest value which is greater than 0.5. So as you can see, this is our 0.990, that is greater than 0.5 and the greatest value here. So we are going to remove this column from our model because it is very less related for it. So as you can see here in x optional, the fifth column, the fifth independent variable that's having relation 0.099, that is quite more than our threshold value, and we that is like p greater than modulo of t quite denotes like difference between the values, whether they are, if the value is more high, that means the less the relation between them. If the value is quite less, that means higher the relation between them. So as you can see, this is 0.99, it's quite high, that means there is very less relation between this independent variable with our dependent variable. So we are not going to use this in one model, so we are going to remove the fifth column from our x optional set, and now we are going to again execute this line of code, and then we are going to check the summary again. Now after that, for comparing all the values of threshold value 0.5, 0.94 is quite high, so it's also not related with our dependent variable, so we are going to remove the fourth column also. So let's remove the fourth column here. Now after that we are going to execute this line of code again. Now in the new summary we can see that 0.62 is the highest value and it's greater than our threshold value, that is 0.5. So we are going to remove this column also, that is second. So we are going to remove the second column from our collection, and then we are going to execute this line of code. Now after that, as you can see, I mean all the independent variables have less value of this and less than our threshold value, that means they are going to have high relation with our dependent variable y. So now as you can see here, we have remaining 0, 1 and 3 columns. So if we are going to use these 3 columns for fitting of our model or for training of our model, then the prediction that the model is going to make will be quite high compared to the previous one. Now this is all about backward elimination. Now we are going to start with forward selection. Now in forward selection we are going to start with one column, I mean with any one of the column of our independent variable collection. So let's start with 0, and we are going to use the same code again, just we are going to pass here column 0, and then we are going to access its summary. So after that as we are going to execute this code, you can see in the summary the value of p is 0.000, that is less than or 0.5. So it is related to the model. It is related with our dependent variable. So now we are going to add another column, that let's say we add column 1. Now after accessing its summary, you can see column 1 is also having 0.000, so it's also related to the dependent variable. So let's add another column 2. So after executing this line of code, we can see it's going to return 0.289. So comparing it to the threshold value 0.5, it's okay. So we are going to let it stay right now. Now we are going to add another variable, that let's say of column 3. Now let's execute this line of code. Now in this summary, you can see that on all the values, after us adding another independent variable, you can see that it shows that the dependent variable of column 2 makes a difference, makes a value of p greater than mod t equals to 0.6, which is more and greater than our threshold value 0.5. So that states that the column 2 is not related to our dependent variable much. So we are going to remove the column 2 from here, and then now we are going to add column 4. So let's add it and access the summary of our model. As you can see here, it's also having value more than 0.95. Now note it states third, cause for the collection it's on the third index, but here at the third index it's 4. So we are going to remove the 4 from here, and then let's add column 5. That's the last column, and let's see summary. Now here you can see that its value is quite greater than 0.5. That means it's also not related to our dependent variable, so we are going to remove it. It states x3, that's the the independent variable. You may have seen in the equation that are constant b0 and then x1, x2, x3, those are our independent variables. So here at x3 position it's our fifth column, so we are going to remove it too. Now there are no any other columns remain, so we can see that both the equation led us to the columns of 0, 1 and 3 of independent variable. Now if we only use these three columns 0, 1 and 3 for fitting of our model over training set, then after that when we apply prediction over testing set, then it's going to make quite great prediction compared to the previous model. That's it for our today's session. Hope you like it. Keep learning.